It is this shoe's 30th anniversary, and I gotta say, seeing these things back again, true to original form for the most part, I mean, these are just kind of, these are special. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these bad boys right here. This is the Nike Air Max Uptempo, the 1995 edition to be specific. And I gotta say, man, I wish that you could capture that smell in a bottle. Oh wait, we did. My brand, Sense Apparel, as well as Antidote Fresh have teamed up to create the Fresh Sense Antidote scent. This is the dead stock sneaker smell. It's got a little bit of leather and a little bit of glue. Not literally, but like that's the scent combined, you know what I'm saying? And on top of all of that, you could buy this stuff right now over at Amazon, of all places. So if you wanted a link, check the description box below. It'll send you over to Amazon where you can buy as many bottles as you'd like. And with that being said, this is the box right here. Nike sportswear box, nothing fancy, nothing special. It would have been cool if they came in an OG box, but it's okay. As far as the shoe is concerned, these things were worn on the feet of many NBA players, Scottie Pippen being one of them, Derek Fisher being another, and just tons of players used to wear these. And yes, I do know that those two players are like totally different in terms of category and positioning. One was a power forward wing, the other one was a point guard. Back in the day, people just wore what they like. They didn't care about like, oh, is this for this position? And all that didn't matter, dude. If you liked the way that it felt and the way that they moved with you, you wore it. That's exactly the way it should be still. If you like the way that they fit and you like the way that they feel and the way that they move with you, wear it. Don't get all caught up on like, oh, this is a guard shoe or whatever. No, that's marketing. This is an original colorway from 1995. These things are just, these are sick, dude. I really love these. I don't think that I would wear these anymore. I will say that, but every time I see them, this was a vibe, dude. Like Air Max and Uptempos were a big deal in the 90s. I mean, just look at that logo. If that doesn't slap you in the face full of nostalgia, I don't know what will. But either way, the outsole right here is pretty interesting, to be blunt. Like, it's more reminiscent of a car tire than it is an actual like basketball sneaker. But something like this is good for either indoors or outdoors. Is it the best performance from an outsole? The answer would be simply no, but it's not bad. It's just not great. You know what I mean? I do love the way that it looks though. This whole like dotted, spotted, whatever you want to call it, and all those little ovals on there, especially done up in that teal colorway. Stuff like this was even featured in their original marketing and everything like that, like the original ads. It's just fantastic, dude. I just like this era of basketball. I think that is great. Even though this isn't the most functional thing on court nowadays, I wish that this type of passion would be put back into product of today. Now, moving on up, we do have a EVA midsole. This actually was a time where we were transitioning, not we, but just the industry, but it was transitioning from polyurethane to EVA. So not every shoe at that time did have EVA, but a lot of them did. It just wasn't the #1 option at the time. People were still stuck on polyurethane and stuff like that. But EVA is lighter, it's way more durable. So something like this over time will crumble, whereas if it were made up of EVA, it would stay intact. If anything, the glue would separate and the airbags would fall apart before anything else. Speaking of the airbags, that is the cushion, and it looks like a full-length setup, but it's actually not. These are actually like chambered units and stuff. So we've got a forefoot unit, a midfoot unit, as well as a heel unit, and these things are just awesome. Are they as big as the originals? No. They're not filled with the same type of air either, but they still look good. I will say that, having again that teal pop right through, like, now the upper on these guys is a little bit different than the originals, even though they did try really hard to replicate that. I will say I'm just glad that they didn't bring the black all the way up to this little like toe pull tab thing or whatever, the eyelet part. Like that was one of the things where like some of the last retros, like I was like, that's not right. You know what I mean? It's not accurate, it should be white. And it's back to being the way that it should be, so I like that. But either way, we got synthetic nubuck along the mudguard. Now, as far as the white portions of the upper are concerned, that is all synthetic leather, top to bottom. I believe the originals were synthetic as well, they just weren't this cheap. They were just a slightly nicer version of a synthetic, but synthetic nonetheless. They still have the wide, fat nylon lace loops. Technically, this was a speed lace system, kind of like the Air Jordan 9, but without plastic. And then one of the cooler features, depending on how you look at it, if you were wearing these casually, you probably didn't like the feature, but if you were wearing these on court, you probably loved it. But you still have the bungees all the way through. They go from the bottom of the lace all the way up to the top of the collar, bro. Like that is sick. That was some next level, like awesome fit stuff. You know what I mean? Like if we're talking about like Back to the Future type shit, that was it. Clearly it wasn't auto lacing, but it still felt good. The tongue is mesh the way that it should be. You got a nice little pull tab on the tongue as well as on the heel. One of the things that I dislike is actually the trim right around here. It's very thick. Sometimes it's hard, especially in the back. So if you are wearing thin socks, sometimes that thing could just like rub right through your Achilles and your skin and all that stuff. So be careful. Wear some thick ones. The insole is this cheap piece of shit right here. If you want to take this out and swap it out for anything else that you'd like, feel free. Just make sure that you do it before you wear them because there is a lot of glue on there and the strobel in here is a fabricy one. So it'll like really adhere itself to that. If you do end up wearing them and still wanting to, you know, replace the insole after the fact, just use a hair dryer on its lowest heat setting. It'll loosen the glue up enough to where you can just rip it right out without ripping apart the insole itself. Now, as far as fit is concerned, they do fit true to size. However, they are slightly on the snug side, especially width-wise. So certain wide footers may want to go up half a size. They are a pain in the ass to get on, I will tell you that. These bungees, they are cool, but they're also like not great for ease of access. So you may be fighting with the shoe for a hot second before you actually get it on there. But true to size for most should be good to go. They're not super comfortable. I will say that right now. They look great. They're just not comfortable. But boy, are they pretty, man. Like these are so, I still think these are cool, dude. If you're interested in grabbing them, they should be available at most Nike retailers. If you're here in the Sacramento area, make sure that you hit up Phenom. And with that being said, what is today's question of the day? And hopefully it has nothing to do with NBA All-Star or the NBA in general. I'm kind of tired of being that old guy. Try to stay away from controversial topics, you know what I mean?
I was just staying on topic.
No, I try to stay away from.
I'm just saying, sometimes you say I step too far outside the wheelhouse.
Sometimes, sometimes.
Today I am not stepping outside the wheelhouse.
Okay.
Was there ever a new shoe you smelled where you were just like...
I think there was a couple. I can't remember what they are.
Oh, I had one that instantly came to mind.
Was it a Band-Aid shoe?
Yes.
Which one?
It's the Anatomic Spawn.
Oh, yeah.
2019.
Yeah, the low top joint?
Yes.
Right.
That thing just made the entire room smell like you were in...
The Band-Aid factory.
Yes. Very heavy. Is it a latex smell? I don't know.
I don't know if it was plasticky or glue or a mix of both that turned into that scent, but yeah, it just smelled like...
trash.
I know that there have been some shoes where I've smelt them and been like, woof, you know what I mean? But like, this was like a long time ago. I don't know if I got it on video, but like, you know, sometimes when you get stuff from China, and I'm not trying to knock on China, I'm just saying like, sometimes when you get it, it smells like dirt. Like they like got picked up off the factory floor and they're like, here.
Yeah.
It's shoes like that that smell kind of gross, where I'm just like, bro, like why don't they smell like what they're made out of? Or what are they made out of that makes them smell like that? That's the only thing that really comes to mind besides something like yours, where sometimes they smell like spray paint too. You know what I mean? Like something really, really heavy and definitely toxic. But what about all of you guys? Have you ever grabbed a brand new pair of shoes, smelt them and been like, damn, what happened? You know what I mean? I will say sometimes I've grabbed brand new shoes from other people and they smell like their house. I'm not saying that that's gross. I'm just saying that's different. And what I do hate is if I get one from like a smoker and then they smell like cigarettes. That's fucking nasty. Or if they smell moldy, like musty. That's happened before too. Good old eBay. But either way, sound out below and let us know. On top of all of that, what do you think about these bad boys returning? Are you a fan of them? Are you planning on grabbing them? Or are you kind of like me where it's like, I really want to, but it's just not my thing anymore? But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We greatly appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.